Miss Linda. Dave.
Hey, Miss Linda, look at you. Hi, honey. You look good in the book. If I ever make somebody, I'm gonna buy you one.
Okay, let me know when y'all ready.
I'm gonna buy that one for him.
First of all, yesterday was another tragic day for us here in Kansas City. And I first want to really thank our first responders for being there on the scene, doing whatever they could to save the young boy's life. Also, I want to show solidarity. We stand with our KCPD, which is very important to protect our community. This incident happened during the middle of the day. And who I have here is Mayuri. This little girl, I adopted this little girl. And I just wanted to show a picture of a precious life that was possibly hard to make, but it's so easily to take. And so I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to pass it on to Bishop Tony Cardwell, and he'll just take it from there.
I'm going to be very, very brief because this is not something that you prepare for. A 2-year-old loses a life behind adults can't communicate. Adults can't get along. Adults have differences. It seems like almost every month we have a baby losing their life, and it gets younger and younger and younger. When is it going to stop? Somebody out there saw something. This is about that child's life. This is about the other kid's life. This ain't about nothing else, but let's find a way for us to get along and stop having all these, every argument in with the loss of a child's life. There's a problem with that. So today we're going to hit the corners. We're going door to door. We're going to pass out flyers. There is a $25,000 reward out for this person. This has to stop. It literally does. So let's put the pressure up on that person that did it so they can turn themselves in. So this doesn't keep going backwards and forth. Because adults can't get along, this is the end result. We got to find a better way in Kansas City to communicate.
I'm standing as a mother who has lost her son, but I'm standing mothers. I'm calling on you. Be careful who is around your children. Make better choices so this won't happen again, because it's somebody out there that was angry with someone else and a child lost their life behind it. So us mothers are hurting. Stop the violence.
Well, we have so many murders around here and nobody say nothing. And it's a lot of people that know what's going on. Nobody is, there's no serial killer just running around just shooting random people. These are people that know people. So when people don't say nothing because it doesn't affect you, it will affect you if you don't get these killers off the street, because they will shoot again. They will shoot again, and we have to stand up as a community and say enough is enough. Now the babies are dying. Not saying that the baby was the intended target, but somebody in that car was the intended target. So watch what you do. If you into some kind of troubles or something, just stay away from your family until y'all figure it out. But this shooting has to stop. My name is Desmond Logan, Desmound.
Good morning. I'm Salim Rashid with the Urban Neighborhood Initiative. I just want to say, just to start with, this is just unconscionable. We've reached a point where the level and the escalation of violence is just unacceptable in any civilized society. You know, we're almost to the point where we're committing genocide on our own people. And just to be in a position to have to stand here and talk about the loss of a life of a child of that age in such a blazing, thoughtless, careless act in broad daylight is just unfathomable. So we have to get to the point where, as a community, we have to come together because this impacts everybody. I mean, this is coming, like, for all of those people who are aware of these senseless acts of violence and these murders who don't say nothing. This is coming to a community or a family near you soon. So today or yesterday it was that child's family. Tomorrow it may be your family. So just think about that. When you know something, say something. Like, this is not a situation where you're going to be labeled a snitch. This is not snitching. This is witnesses. It's a difference. People don't seem to understand that. When you're involved in an act and you get caught up and you tell on the other people involved in the act, that's snitching. When you witness a senseless, calculated, callous murder and don't say anything, and you say something, that's witnessing. And that's what we need to get to. We need to get these people off of our streets. Like, this is not a safe environment for anybody, and we should be all very concerned about this. I don't care where you come from, what community you live in. This is just something that should be acceptable, unacceptable all around the board. And we can't just police it away. We have to do more intervention and more prevention and offer more opportunities and resources. We need to reach out to the people and teach them better coping mechanisms and offer better ways to solve your problems and just make better decisions about your life and not even be getting into situations where you come to a point where you reach this level of violence. So I just wanted to say that, and we need to do better.
Sir, can you say and spell your first and last name, please?
My name is Saleem, Saleem. My last name is Rashid, Rasheed, and I'm with the Urban Neighborhood Initiative.
Emmanuel Cleaver III, St. James United Methodist Church. I just want to say and reiterate what's already been stated, that we need the community to step up. And if you have any information, to share that. I come from a tradition where we teach that what you do for the least of these, you also do for God. And I think a 2-year-old falls in that category. And so I believe it's time for Kansas City to step up. Kansas City can do better, but the only way we can become a stronger city is if faith communities, community leaders step up and get involved in schools, prevention programs, and do all that we can to really make a difference. I believe Kansas City can be a world-class city.
Good morning, Deputy Chief Carl Oakman, Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. You know, we've failed as a community when we're standing in front of a fire station talking about a 1 to 2 year old kid that had been shot and killed. We failed as a community. And we need information on who did this. I'll tell you this little boy did not deserve this. And this little boy will have the full power of the community and the full power of KCPD. We're coming after you and we're going to get you. And those who have seen something or heard something, call us. Like I said, we need information. This little boy did not deserve this. As a community, we need to step up. And I mean every facet of the community. Everyone. We have failed when a situation like this happens in this city that I love, in this city that each of us love. We have failed. We have to do better, and we have to make a difference. And it starts by calling, telling us what you saw, because someone knows who did this. Someone knows who did this. And if there's people out who will just shoot indiscriminately like that, none of us are safe until this person comes to justice. Thank you.
I am Pastor Cassandra Wainwright, Concerned Clergy Coalition of Kansas City, and I'm here today to stand with these individuals to say that on behalf of the faith community, our civic leaders, our law enforcement, people that care about Kansas City, that it shouldn't even take the death of a little small child for us to come together and say that we are going to be determined and committed that we are going to make a change in our city. That this spirit of murder that exists in Kansas City has got to be stopped, and we are the ones that have to be on the front lines of changing it. If anything is going to change, it's going to be those of us who care about this city and not caring about who gets the credit, not caring about who's leading, not caring about anything other than getting justice and keeping our streets safe here in Kansas City. So we're united, and I'm so glad to stand with these individuals, because not only does that little boy deserve justice, but every other child and every other young person, every other individual that has had their life stolen and snatched here in our city, all of them deserve that same justice. So let's get busy, Kansas City, and let's do what collectively we can do together, because we're stronger together, we're better together, instead of working apart.
My name's Dave Sullivan from Arts Tech. We work with young people, and we're getting real tired of burying our kids. We're not doing enough, and we're not doing better. People saying we're doing the best we can. We're not. Why are we all standing here? The police, they're going to find that individual. The prosecutor, they're going to put them away. But then what happens the next time? The next time. We as individuals need to reach out. We know who is suffering. We know people, we know young people who don't have the ability to take care of their business, do it peacefully. We need to talk to them. We need to reach out to them. But we have to do something about it, and we have to do it individually. We cannot depend on others to take care of our own community business. I stand here with my brothers and sisters to say I'm going to do something better. I think I do a lot. I don't. Neither is anybody. We are not doing enough, and unless we do it as a community, we'll be standing here again on a different corner.
That's right. On a different corner. That's right.
My name is Marquita Taylor. I'm the president of Santa Fe Neighborhood Association, which is right behind you. I wanted to, it was pressed on my heart to come down here today because I was sitting in my house is right down the street, and I heard the gunfire at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I knew it had to be something serious in the middle of the day. And I'm also recently over the weekend had my house shot up. So it's just too much going on, and we can't continue. It's great to have all the community folks around, but we got to stop talking about it and do something. I don't have the answers, but I'm willing to step forward to join and try to find out what those answers are. Do we need to do more with our young people that we're not doing? What is it that we're missing? And that's the only thing that's going to prevent and help stop this. A child lost his life. A child. And that ought to bring everybody out and want to be engaged and want to find some solutions. I will certainly send something out to my neighborhood and said, okay, what can we do? How can we join with other neighborhoods and other folks who are doing some major things in the city? We got to stop dividing and start coming together and figure out what that answer is going to be. We don't have to have a leader per se. All of us collectively can do this. So I am just heartbroken and disturbed about all of this. So I just will be part of the change.
Okay, and this is going to kind of conclude this press conference. And what I really want to see happen is our neighborhood association strengthens to where this won't happen. Both of these are neighborhood presidents over here, and I'm glad that they came out. I definitely want to thank the clergy. I definitely want to thank our first responders and the police department. And what we're going to do from here is like Bishop Caldwell said, we're going to go door to door. And I want you that's viewing this, we're going door to door. Know your neighbors. Know who lives on your block. And turn these people in. turn them in. We've lost too many children this year, and the criminals are still out there. And so I just want to thank you guys, Reverend Cleaver, Chief Oakman, and some of the other police officers and responders, the clergy, well wishers. Let's get this guy off the street. Do y'all have any questions for any one of us, Nathan? Anybody? I haven't. I don't know if anybody here has been in touch with the family.
No, we haven't got any of that confirmed. And like I said, in the coming days, as more information become available, we'll share it. No, just that we continue to need information that anyone who was there around the time that it happened, whatever they saw, regardless of whether you think it's important or not, please give us a call. We'll take any information that you have.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it out. So quiet.
This is a community effort, not just one person, but all of us coming together. Thank you, thank you. Because we fail to realize we will run to a conflict, but we won't run to a solution. We're so busy talking about what people won't do, we won't highlight what people will do. We want to talk about the negative, but we don't talk about the positive. What I see right here today is positive. And the reason I say what I see is positive is because just like everybody, we got the last minute notice to be here. But everybody stopped what they were doing in the middle of the day because this child life means more to what any schedule that we have. We got to do better, and we can. Just learn to communicate, learn to talk. Everything does not need to end with a final death. There's a $25,000 reward for anyone that turns in the information. You're totally anonymous. This has to change, Kansas City.
Amen.
It has to change. He got to go before it hits your house.
Hey, I think most of you know me. Assistant Fire Chief Jimmy Walker, Kingston, Missouri Fire Department. I've got one of my members here who was actually worked the shooting yesterday, who treated the little boy. He's going to come out and just give you some of his thoughts on, because a lot of times people don't realize that our job is to help the community, and we live in the community. We're here in all these communities. This year so far, we've had 3 fire stations shot up. Pulls in 3 different fire stations, and as a part of the community, we don't want to see violence. And we talk about stopping the killing. Well, I'll just tell you, it's about the shootings. For every killing we have 3 more shootings. People are not wounded. That isn't even news because we have so many of them, and that impacts our members and the community at large. So what we've got here, I'm gonna bring a young man out, good firefighter who yesterday was going on another call. A car pulls up right here in front of the station and just drops off. Comes in this. It was quick, and unfortunately, I was over here talking to a friend of mine who works here, and I worked at this station too. He's been here for years. We were recounting all the times that things like that have happened here, more than we can count. How many people have been dropped off dead at this fire station alone, let alone countless other stations. So violence impacts everybody. It impacts our first responders. And unfortunately, it impacts this community because they live here and we live here. This is our home too. This station is ours, and we're invested in this neighborhood, and we're invested in making it. So when I get my firefighter out, he went to spruce up a little bit. So he's reluctant. He's a reluctant TV star. So, but he'll come out maybe, or maybe he's ditching me right now. But
yeah, okay. We'll wait for him. We definitely want to hear from him. And
Question while we wait.
yes,
Shannon, of course you can.
To take it. We have had way too many of these conferences where people stand out and they say, "You see something, say something." So obviously something different needs to be done. What is that? To anybody.
We have to get them together. They don't have nobody to look up to. We got okay. We need more people to stand up as role models. If we don't give them nothing to do, they just run around. They have nothing to look forward to. If you don't have nothing to look forward to, all you want to do is just go ahead and get into trouble. We have to understand what we're dealing with. We are dealing with the kids that are on crack. I mean, not on crack. These are the crack baby era babies, right? So a lot of these kids, either parents died from being in selling drugs, a lot of people are in jail, or a lot of them was on drugs. So we just need people to really just stand up and be some type of role model, and we need to give them something to do. I've been screaming this for the last 3 years. You give them nothing to do, and you get all this melee. You give them something to do. Everybody don't want to play basketball. Everybody don't want a bounce house. Everybody don't want a face painting. I done been to so many Stop the Violence things around here in Kansas City, and they give them face painting, bounce houses, and hot dogs. And then somebody there to check your heartbeat. That's not going to stop the violence. That's not going to attract people we need to talk to. So until the city of Kansas City understand that this is a new generation of kids that don't have a father, that don't have a mother. You know what I mean? Me and you grew up with parents that taught us respect. That's what they taught us. The persons that teach us respect are your parents. If you don't respect your parents, you don't respect nobody. So we have to put more people in front of them for them to respect, and we have to give them something else to do. So until we do that, yeah, we go keep doing this. We go keep coming here, keep saying this, because I'm all about action. I don't like this no more than y'all. I've been going to meetings for the last 3 years trying to figure it out. So until people come together and we do something instead of keep talking about it, we go keep on having these problems. Does that answer your question? Okay.
I'm tired of the rhetoric as well. But in my 4+ years, I found out if you don't engage the young people in positive, in conflict resolution, it's some meaningful work. And not just, like Desmond was saying, let's have some face painting, hot dogs, and have a good day. But day after day, if we keep working with our kids, then they grow into being good citizens. Because the people who are committing the crimes are the ones in their 20s and 30s. But they were teenagers at one time. But unless we have programs, unless we keep the kids engaged, this is going to continue. In the rhetoric, you'll come out, we'll get behind it, we'll all be sad. But we got to find ways to keep the kids engaged day after day with positive adults and with programs, and not just rhetoric. And we're tired of it too.
Also, y'all, we have to erase the stigma of mental health. Like, a lot of this stuff has to do with mental health issues. There are people out here dealing with mental health issues from traumas and experiences that they lived through that have brought them to this mindset where they think this action is culturally acceptable. This is like normal behavior to a certain segment of our population, unfortunately. And it's, we deal with people that, it's such a stigma with mental health that people don't want to seek help and they don't talk about these type of issues. But we got people walking around here dealing with these issues on a daily basis where the least little thing sets them off. So we have to intervene somewhere, give them better coping mechanisms, and try to redefine the construct in which people's mindset is set at these earlier ages, where they see this through media, through movies, through the music, through some of the stuff is portrayed where violence is glamorized. And so they begin to accept this, and we have to try to do what we can to erase that and reverse that thought process, and to really make people understand that violence is not glamorous and it's not how we should be living. And it's fortunately, it's a very small percentage of people in the community who act and behave this way. But what they do is so horrific that they get all the attention, so it makes you think that it's such a larger segment of our population. But most of our segment of our population is really just people trying to do what we're trying to do out here and trying to live correctly and try to have a better life. And although the resources are limited and stuff, so we definitely need to provide better resources, more opportunity, better education, address some of those type of issues, but let's make sure we keep on remembering that people are dealing with mental health issues out here as well.
Why this year? Why is violence excluded this year? It's the worst ever. I mean, I've been here a long time, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect storm of all of the chaos. We have everything going on at the same time, but things we haven't experienced before. We have the pandemic out of control. We have all this division in our political discourse. We have all this social injustice, all these things that happen where people are just fed up. They're just like at the boiling point. The people are sick and tired and sick and tired. They're tired of talking, tired of everything, and so they have no other way to express or cope with their things based on what they think is culturally acceptable. So it's just we have so many different things going on so many different fronts that people don't know how to deal with what they're dealing with. And so we certainly don't have enough mental health professionals out here to deal with some of the people. And so we try to police it when sometimes we need to be sending mental health experts to deal with some situations. So I just think it's because we just in a perfect storm of chaos right now that it's got to this level, unfortunately.
Well, I wanted to address what was going to be different. You know, there's a new initiative called Getting to the Heart of the Matter, where faith communities are working with KCPD to really address some of the issues in all the patrol divisions. And so this is an initiative that just started. So it'll be, as we gain momentum, I believe we'll see more results. But this is a way for the community and law enforcement to really address some very specific problems. A big part of it will be conflict resolution. A big part of it will be getting involved in some of the schools and dealing with mental health issues, which is a critical part of it. But getting to the heart of the matter that just started was designed to address this problem specifically.
Hey, real quick on that issue. Something that we've really been trying to work on, as the pastor mentioned, was conflict resolution. Well, we're good at giving kids conflict resolution when they've been in trouble, but the problem is it needs to be mandatory. And I've been fighting for about 4 years to try to get this mandatory in school at elementary level. Then you follow up at middle school, then you follow up at high school, because just about every homicide we've seen, every shooting we've seen, it's a result of poor anger management. People do not know how to deal with their anger. We need to give them tools to where they can deal with that anger. And that's the number one reason. Now, why it's worse now than it has been in the past, I can't answer that. But like I said, the conflict resolution is a serious problem. People just don't know how to deal with conflict.
To bring up one of the firefighters who responded yesterday, Zach Kump, he'll spell his first and last name. Feel free to ask him questions about it. Don't have some courtesy. Let's not be graphic or anything along those lines, please. Don't be graphic, Shane, but feel free to ask questions. Go ahead and spell your first name.
Thank you. Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
So,
Can you start with telling us about your experience?
So yeah, there was a car that pulled up on our apron here, and you could tell there was bullet holes all over the car, and I could see the man sitting in the passenger seat had blood all over him, so I knew what was going on. And so then it was the man and the woman, I believe, that was driving were both shot, and then they handed us the baby.
When they handed you that baby, tell me what that was like for you.
Well, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's not the first time, but that's when it goes from, when adults are shot or anybody that's out there in whatever game they're involved in, they know the consequences, and it's an innocent child, so that's terrible.
What did you do to try to resolve it? What does it take on you as a first responder to see that and deal with that?
I mean, I don't want to sound soulless, but for me, it's just It's terrible to see a child injured, innocent life, but it doesn't haunt me. It's
How do you not let it haunt you?
I think it's just my personality. It's just
This, as Jimmy Walker said a little bit ago, that this affects the entire community, including the first responders community. And for people like you who have to deal with this kind of violence on a day-to-day basis, it's gotta, I mean, you look like you're getting a little bit emotional. It's gotta at least hurt your soul.
well, yeah, I think it would hurt anybody's soul. But all I'm saying is it doesn't follow me every day. I don't dwell on it. And
To help resuscitate the child.
we did everything we could to stop the bleeding and get him to the hospital as fast as we could. I mean, there really was no resuscitating that child.
You know at that point that the child wasn't going to make it, or what was going through your heart in your mind when that baby was handed off to you?
Yes, I mean, I don't want to get graphic, but I knew. I knew.
You might have heard some of what was said here about this happening too often, and Jimmy just told us that this happened at this fire station too often. What are some of your thoughts about what was said today about what needs to change?
Well, I'm not sure what everyone's been talking about out here today, but to me, it's the drug war mostly that's failed and causes most violence in this city. That's my opinion. But
Any other questions?
What do you want to say to people who are watching this, regardless of where they live in the city of Kansas City?
I mean, there's really nothing I can say that's going to stop anybody out.
You know, there's people watching this, and one of the reasons that we do this type of thing is if we can touch one person to make them put the guns down. If we can touch one person to have them go get help for their anger. I mean, your testament might be able to help at least one person.
Right, no, I agree, but it's a very complicated issue. There's not one thing I can say. There's a lot of different things that come together to create this sort of thing. And whether it's the drug war, whether people are selling drugs or guns or women or whatever game they're in, when they're in massive poverty like they are down here, that's how a lot of them grow up. And a lot of the consequences of those games is people getting killed. And there's damage, like, who knows? That guy probably didn't know there was a baby in the car. I hope not. But yeah, it's terrible. I hope it stops. But until there's massive policy changes, it's not gonna.
Do you mind saying and spelling your first and last name, sir?
Zach Fatal.
How do you spell your first and last?
It's ZACH. My last name is FATALL.
And how long have you been with the department?
It has been about 4.5 years.
Has this been the most dramatic rescue you've been a part of?
No.
Thank you.
No problem.
I just want to say, thank you. And you know what? It's a rough day. He's right. We see these things every day, and eventually it could take its toll emotionally.
Right.
But we have to compartmentalize, because that's our job. I was just trying to help Zach out, saying we're here. I can't take that home to my family.
Right.
And when we do, some people do, and we provide help, but they do take it home. It's one of those. It's out there. We have the help out there, but when we come into this line of work, we know what we're getting into. Unfortunately, but we want to do this community better.
Right. Like, I'm not trying to sound cold, but that's how. It's not like I'll always think about that kid and a lot of the other kids, but I can't. If I let it eat away at me, there's no way I'd survive doing this job.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your hard work yesterday.
No problem. My pleasure.
Hey, thank you. And Zach said the right thing. You know, there's a story behind this. This is a story behind this. And most likely it's drugs. There's a story behind this. And so I just go ahead and close that. And we need more money. We need more money for our neighborhoods. He just said it was a depressed neighborhood. And this is not the worst traffic he ever saw. And this happens in our neighborhood, in the inner city. And so we need our district, our council persons to step up. We need money in these neighborhoods. Thank you. I Anybody else got anything going? Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
We don't get it. That's what you
Hey, man. Hey, he took that man told, he said, this ain't the word. Thank you. Hey, man, call me. Let's get together.
Okay.
Let's get together and then.
Doe. Have you ever met Doe?
No.
Hey, Doe.
She's
one of the movies.
Yeah.